Hello everyone, it's Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks very much for joining me. Today I'm doing the assembly tutorial for the sophisticated purse. This project has been designed by Nicole Silhouette here on YouTube, and I shall link her YouTube channel in the description box below. The sophisticated purse is available as a digital cutting file in Nicole's Etsy store, and it is also available as a cutting die set in Beki Store, and I shall link both of those in the description box below. For today's tutorial I am using the digital cutting file. I do not have the cutting die set. I have all the pieces cut out and it's time to go through them with you now. The first pieces I'm showing you are the front and the back of the purse. As I'm showing here, there's one each of those. This piece here is the top of the purse that opens and closes. The next three pieces I have are the base and the two sides of the purse. The top piece here being the base piece of the purse, or the underneath side. And you can see that I've gone ahead and put double-sided tape along the glue tabs. The next two pieces here are the sides of the purse, and the curved tabs at the top here indicate that that's the top of the piece. And those jagged tooth pieces down the bottom there, that's the bottom part. So there's two of those, and you can see where I've gone ahead and put the double-sided tape on those. Next up we have our decorative layers. And you can see that I've used a silver mirror board and some silver glitter cardstock. So these pieces here are border pieces for the front, back and top of the purse, and I've cut that from the silver mirror board. The next pieces make up the handle, so we have this rectangle. There are 6 of these pieces and 2 of these. Now for these pieces I've cut from the silver glitter cardstock, and I'm going to pause the footage here for a moment just while I explain to you a couple of options that you have with these decorator panels for this purse. And I'm sure it's not the way that Nicole intended it to be when she designed it, but it's just another option for you, and it is up to you whether you go with this or not. So I did this with the digital cutting file, and had I had the cutting die set, I would need to do it in the way that I'm going to explain it to you now. So the border trim piece I would have cut from both silver mirror board and silver glitter cardstock. And for the pieces cut with the silver mirror board, I keep the border trim pieces and discard the fallout pieces. With the pieces cut with the silver glitter cardstock, I'll keep the fallout pieces, which is what I've got in my hands here, and discard the border trim pieces. And this also creates less bulk. And I know this is not the way that Nicole intended it to be. She would have intended that the border trim pieces would be cut from a contrasting colour, and then you would cut your purse pieces from either a decorative patterned paper or another colour that matched in with your border trim. This is an option to give you a third colour if you wanted, like I'm planning to do here. And it's like a die cut inlay. So I hope all that made sense, and I just wanted to share some different options with you for decorating. So I've got my pieces here, and to begin with I'm going to put the two sides off to the side there for the moment. And I'm going to work on the base piece. I'm also going to put the top to the side. We don't need that just yet. And I have here the pieces that are the front and the back of the purse. Doesn't matter which is which. This is the bottom edge and this is the top edge, and I'm going to join it to the base with the bottom edge as I'm indicating. So I'm just lining them up like so, and you can see how they'll go. So I'm just going to remove the double-sided tape from the glue tabs, and I'm going to take my time and carefully line up these pieces and attach them to the base piece. And we'll do the same on the other side. Just taking my time to line it up as precisely as I can. And you'll see now that we have a base and a front and a back of our purse. Next up we'll take the sides, and you'll notice that the sides of the purse are curved. So I'm going to give these side pieces a little bit of curvature just by running my hands along, getting a little bit of a shape there. And that's going to assist with putting these pieces onto the sides of the purse. And they'll go like so. So I'm just going to take the double-sided tape off the top piece and press that down. That gives the top of the sides of the purse a bit of strength. And just give it a good burnish. I'm just folding along the score lines of my second piece there. I did forget to do it earlier. So then I'm going to join these side pieces onto the purse like so. So we'll join the ends on to the base, taking care to line it up as precisely as I can. And do the same on the other side. Now we can join our sides to our purse, the front and back. So I apologise for the twisting and turning around. So I'm just taking the backings off the adhesive and I'm going to just join that side to the front of the purse or the back of the purse, whichever it will be. Just taking care to line it up and making sure that the shape is coming along nicely as well. So this may take a little bit of time to line it up. Just take your time. And if you haven't been exactly perfect with your lining up, don't worry too much about it because the decorative layers will actually cover it and you won't see it. So I'm just lining up the edge and following the curve down, making sure that the tabs are tucking in nicely along that edge. So that's one side done, and it's always good to give these glue tabs a bit of a burnish, making sure that that double-sided tape's getting a good hold. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side to close up the purse. This is probably the hardest part of putting this purse together, is getting this together nicely so it's a nice shape. And then of course the other hard part is how you're going to decorate it. So I'm just sticking that side down and then I'll do the other side as well. Just do the best you can with lining it up. And I'm just pressing it down now, making sure that those tabs have all got a good stick inside. So that's the main part of our purse done. Next I have the top of the purse here, and I've given that a bit of curvature as well. This was designed to have a curved lid. So I have our border trim pieces here and I'm going to put them in place. And this is where you'll see, and it will make more sense, what I was talking about before. And I'm going to stick these border trim pieces down onto the front, back and the lid piece of the purse. And then with the silver glitter cardstock pieces, they'll go in the middle like a die cut inlay. And you don't have to do the die cut inlay part if you do not wish to. You can just stick the border trim parts onto corresponding coloured cardstock or even pattern cardstock. It would look great too. You wouldn't even need to do the die cut inlay. I just chose to do a die cut inlay for my purse because I was using the silver glitter cardstock and that was the look I was going for. So I've just got those stuck in place and now I'm getting my silver panels and I'm going to put them into place as the inlay. And I'm using art glitter glue. And you can absolutely do it the way that it's intended, the way Nicole designed it to be. It doesn't have to be an inlay, as I've explained before. Entirely up to you. We all interpret things in our own way. And you'll notice also there that I just squeezed in the sides of the purse. The front and the back I should say, so that it looks a bit more realistic. So just sticking that second inlay piece into place, making sure that everything's nice and aligned. Next up I'm going to do the same thing for the top lid of the purse. Just taking the backings off the tape and sticking it down into place. I'm struggling because my sticky tape wants to grab, or the double-sided tape wants to grab. But you all know how messy it is using glue with silver mirror board. That can be quite messy. So just sticking in this inlay silver glitter piece. And putting that into place. Making sure everything's pressed down nicely. And I'm just having a quick gauge here of how it's going to sit, and I'm going to curve that top a little bit more. And then I'll put the lid aside for the time being, and I'll start working on the handle. So the handle is made up of a few pieces. So we have these 6 pieces here, and I've cut 4 in the silver mirror board and 2 in just the white cardstock. And the white cardstock ones I will sandwich in between 2 mirror pieces. And I will chop and change here between the lid and the handle. I apologise for that. Because I wanted to make sure I put the lid on properly. So every time I was thinking about the lid whilst I was doing the handle pieces, I went back to it so that I had it clear in my mind. So these pieces, I'm going to call them the buckles. So I've got the 2 buckle pieces there. So I've gone back to the lid here for a moment, just working out where it's going to sit. Going to give it a bit more curvature. I'm thinking, yep, I'm happy with that. So I'm giving it a bit more curvature, just rolling it between my hands. You could fold this lid down if you wanted, but I wanted the curved look, and it has been designed as curved. So I'm going to put the lid aside again, sorry about that, and I'm heading back to the handle. Just checking to make sure my buckle is right. And I'm going to add a decorative layer to this long rectangle piece of the handle. I thought that would look nice. So I've just cut this myself, just a rectangle. I just cut it to size. I thought it would look nice on the handle. It's totally optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want. So I'm just sticking that into place. And I'm happy with how that's looking. And I'm going to finish off my buckles now. Now I want the buckle to move freely inside the holder, the buckle holder. So I'm going to just put glue at the bottom area. And then hold it into place whilst it dries. So I'm happy with how the buckle can move freely, and I'll do the same thing with the second one. Just putting glue down the bottom and holding it closed whilst the glue dries. So now I'm going to attach the buckles to the handle, and I'm giving the handle some shape, and they'll get affixed like so to the handle. So to secure this, I'm not going to use glue, I'm going to use double-sided tape. Sometimes glue can be very messy with mirror cardstock. So that's why I've gone to the double-sided tape, just so that I don't put glue marks all over my silver mirror board. You can clean it off, but it's just an extra thing you have to do. And it's easier to use tape. So I'm just getting that into place, and I'll take the backings off and put these buckles into position before closing the end of that handle over. Just move the other one out of the way and press that down. Now I wanted my buckles to be able to move freely within the buckle holder down the bottom. You don't have to do it like that if you don't want. And it's a little bit loose here as well, and that's how I wanted it. I'm just pressing that down into place and I'm happy with how that's looking. Just giving the handle a bit more curvature and putting it against the lid just to see if I'm happy with how that's going to look. So I've decided now I'm going to commit and attach the lid to the purse. So I'm just getting the positioning right, and I think I'm going to come down about 1 inch at the back and it'll fold over at the front just nicely. This is something you'll have to determine yourself when you're making your purse. So I've got my double-sided tape again here, and I've got my 1/2 inch double-sided tape, and I decided to use 2 strips. If you've got the 1 inch tape, you could use that and just put 1. So I figured 1 inch would be the perfect measurement. So I'm going to stick that in the side that I want to be the back, just centering it, making sure I'm happy with the positioning before pressing it down into place. Then I'll give it a good press from the inside as well. All the time I'm checking to make sure that I'm happy with how it's folding over at the front and where it's sitting at the front. And I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put some magnet closures onto my purse, and the magnets I'm using are these 1mm magnets from Crafts For You. That's where I get mine from. And I'm going to put 3 magnets along the front of my purse. And to affix these magnets, I'm going to use little glue dots. So I'm just burnishing, making sure that that lid's attached firmly. Sorry, it's a bit difficult to see here. I'll just push the purse out the way a little bit. This is the positioning of where I'm going to put the magnets, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle. So I've got my glue dots here, and I'm going to press the magnets into place. And there are 2 magnets joined to each other. And the trick here with the glue dots is to make sure you press down firmly. So I'm putting my magnets into place and I'm pressing down firmly before I remove the release paper. And there's also a glue dot on the other side, so that I just have to fold this over now, press it against the front side of the purse, and this will put that second row of magnets into place. So I'm just making sure that those glue dots are getting a good hold on those magnets, pressing as firmly as I can without squishing my purse. So I'm going to put my fingers in on the inside too, I think, and see whether I can get those 2 end magnets to grip. Makes it a bit hard for the centre one, but I lucked out here and the centre one's in position. And I'm pressing all 6 magnets in place now, making sure that all the glue dots have got a good hold on all of the 6 magnets. So it's time now to put the handle into place onto the top of the purse. And I'm going to take a pencil, and using the hole in the buckle holder as a guide, I'm going to put marks where I think I want my handle to go. Just using a ruler to assist me. I think it's about a 1 centimetre gap I left between the trim there and where I wanted to put the handle, the hole for the handle. Then I'm going to punch the holes with a hole punch that I have where I put those pencil marks. So I'm just getting those holes punched. And I'm going to use brads to attach my handle to the top of the purse. Just burnishing there just so I get a clean fold. Put a brad in and affix it to the top of the purse. You could just glue it if you wanted to and used an enamel dot to look like a brad. It's up to you. My tutorials are only ever a guide, and you guys can make your projects any way you like. So I'm happy with the way my handle is sitting on top of my purse, and now all that's left to do is to decorate it. And I'm going to go ahead off camera now and decorate my purse, and I'll come back soon to show you the finished purse. So I'm back now with my finished, completed, sophisticated purse, and I'm really happy with the way that this came out. It does look very sophisticated. I kept my decorations fairly simple, only putting 3 flowers across the front of my purse. And the magnet closure is working perfectly, and there's plenty of room inside that purse for anything that you'd like to put in there. Would make a great gift for a hen's party or a sweet 16 or anything really. So that's my tutorial finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching and you feel inspired to make one of these purses. They're not that terribly difficult to make and the decoration options are endless. Don't forget to check the description box down below for the links that I've previously mentioned, and if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really love that too. Thanks very much for watching today. Have a great day, and until next time, it's bye for now.